That's good. Great. So if you don't have something soft or supportive for your knees or maybe your butt, now's a good time to grab it. And otherwise, we're going to start in a seated posture. So this morning I am wearing a ton of layers. It's very interesting. You know, it's July. We are actually regionally in a heat warning right now. But where I am on the water on the Bay of Fundy, it's like 16 degrees outside, and there's fog that's kind of, for those folks who've been here before to visit, you know that the fog comes in like, I mean, it billows in, it blows in like smoke. So anyway, it's quite cool and damp here. It's supposed to burn off a little bit later in the day. I'm happy for the cool, but if you're wondering, why am I wearing all of these layers in July? That's why. And yeah, so I'm grateful for a little bit of coolness. Also grateful. Jeff is Jeff is showing some support here on the sofa. And it's nice to see some of the dogs have started to use the sofa again. So we'll see how Jeff does throughout the practice today. He usually sticks to himself. So we are going to work on a practice around the tree pose and think about grounding. So putting down your roots, and even in a seated posture, think about grounding into this. And when we ground into something, it gives us the opportunity to push away other things that might just be buzzing around. Let's bring our shoulders kind of up, back, and down. Pull up and back through the core and have as long a neck as you possibly can. Start to deepen the breath. If you can, depending on allergies, if you can do in and out through the nose, that would be ideal. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable with that, and just go to that space in your mind where you're starting to kind of do that, almost like you do at the end of the evening, turning off the lights, closing windows, whatever it is that you do, kind of do that around you, kind of emotionally and intellectually right now. Create space for the practice today. And as you're breathing and grounding into the practice and our time together, take a moment to think about maybe what you need. What do you need to pull from this? This is not about really setting an expectation or making a demand. It's just having that awareness. Maybe there's something that you need to satisfy today or to support. Good. Let's just take a moment, opening the eyes, sweeping the arms up above, reaching up through the hands, through the fingers. I know I have some surprisingly light coming through the window. It's very diffused because of all the fog out there, but I've got my palms up towards the ceiling, fingertips out to the sides, just getting a nice stretch here, really lengthening, and then doing some little circles with the wrists, using your fingers, and then rolling those shoulders down. take a moment. We're just going to kind of walk our way forward, seeing what's happening in the hips this morning, maybe letting your fingertips slide forward, breathing a lot. And then starting to pull back up, roll the shoulders, open up through the chest. Beautiful. So take a snapshot right now of how you feel, kind of what's happening. And then towards the end of our practice, we're going to check in again, and I want you to kind of take a second snapshot. And then I want you to kind of compare the two and notice what may have shifted. We do that so that if you find yourself in a situation where you're experiencing maybe some of the unwanted things, you can say, okay, I have the ability, I have the knowledge, I have the wisdom to shift some of this if I follow some very specific steps. Let's move on to the hands and knees. I just had a massive knee crack. I have to say, it kind of felt good. So on the hands and knees, starting in a tabletop posture here, and really kind of grounding into the hands. Feel your fingertips on the mat, maybe sway a little bit. Head and tail start to rise up, open up through the shoulders, bring your shoulder blades together very slowly to begin. And then exhale, rounding, tucking the head and tail under. Inhale, head and tail lift. And exhale. Breathing out. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Couple more here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Start to walk your way back slowly, sinking down onto the heels. My knees are a tiny bit apart, so my heels are kind of rolling out to the side now. And I'm going to start to ease down, stretching the spine as I go, coming into a child's pose. Let's start to ease back up onto the hands and knees. Pay attention to the core. You want to make sure that you're engaging through the core when you're in this posture. And then I'm going to spin my hands around so that my fingertips are actually pointing towards my knees. If your hands and wrists don't work well in this posture, then you can stay with the fingertips facing forward. This is just a really super nice stretch for the forearms. And once again, we're going to go through our cat-cow. So head and tail start to lift on the in-breath. Exhale, reversing. Inhale up. And exhale. Breathing up. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Flip your toes under. Walk your way back. Undo a pinky toe and just move yourself into a little bit of a foot stretch. Soften through the shoulders. Chest is proud. Let's take 3 or 4 breaths here, just waking up the feet. We want to put down roots. We need the right tools. Your feet would be the right tools. All right. Release your feet, tap them on the mat, and then moving up to a standing posture, however you find the easiest. Just gonna move my mic here, and oh my goodness. We have, I keep getting these pop-ups on my screen for dang Windows updates. And so my fear is that suddenly my computer is going to be shut down. If that happens, somebody else can volunteer to lead the class. You will be perfect and wonderful. Okay, let's come on into a standing posture, shoulders down, lengthening here through the legs. Do my little, let the energy out wiggle. And then start to work your toes into your mat, almost like you're digging in sand. And then bring your feet a little bit further apart, soft through the knees. We're going to bring some warmth to the body through these next series of kind of range of motion pieces. And then we'll focus more on our traditional postures. But I want your bodies to be warm and comfortable and a little bit more flexible. So let's start by just reaching one arm up. And then it comes down, and then the other arm. And you can add a little bit of a side bend here. So explore the range of motion. Breathe as you're doing this. If you need to change your foot or your leg position, feel comfortable doing that. A few more of these. Both arms up, and then roll the shoulders down the back. Give a little shake here. Good. Let's bring our feet a little bit closer together. And now we're going to be coming into a little bit of almost a forward tuck or roll. And then we're going to come back. I'll show you from the side what I mean. So we're going to be bringing our hands kind of forward. This. So you're kind of hands in front of your face. And we're going to roll under. So you're kind of bending your knees, tucking under the tail, folding in on yourself. Should feel a nice kind of rounding of the back. And then as we release, we're going to come up and lean back and really stretch back with the arms. So it's very fluid coming down. This is my exhale. Inhale, up and back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And stretching back. Roll your shoulders down. Nice. Shoulders roll a little bit here. And then I want you to give yourself a bear hug. So really hug yourself in tight. Ground through your feet, toes are spread, arches lifted, and then start to just make some circles with the upper body. Just going in one direction to begin. Engage through your core, feel the feet. Breathe a lot.
And let's switch directions. Roll your shoulders. Whew. A little bit of dizziness there afterwards. Bring your feet a little bit further apart. Toes are facing forward, bend at the knees. Just a nice soft stance. Core is tight, tuck the tail, shoulders back, palms forward. You're gonna push and push. What I like about this, especially for somebody like me with arthritis in my shoulders, this doesn't hurt as much as kind of doing big shoulder moves. If you can keep your core tight, increase the speed as much as you want. And just feel those shoulder blades moving around on your back. You're like, what the heck does this have to do with the tree? Not a darn thing. But it's a great way to get the energy flowing in our body. And release. Feet come closer together. Let's sweep the arms all the way up. Looking up, my hands, my fingers are spread apart, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. And then very slow, controlled, start to come down. Fingertips drag along the floor, and then we power up, push up through your feet. Think about now kind of rising up, root to rise here, and releasing down. Inhale, pressing into the feet to lengthen and grow up. And exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, all the way up. And down, and stay folded forward. Drop the head, let your arms hang. And now slowly pulling the core, start to roll up bit by bit by bit. And roll the shoulders back and hands come to the heart. Excellent, good. Before we start going through a flow, as I work to adjust my pants, thank you for your patience. Let's just do a quick, super quick review of just some basic components of the tree pose. It's so familiar to us. And for many of us, it's really a comforting pose. Primarily today, we're going to be working on the second position of the tree pose. So that means the foot is below the knee, above the ankle, somewhere pressing into the calf muscle. So join me and just kind of plant a foot down, and then the other foot comes up. Find that space where it just feels like it fits. And then we fine tune a little bit. So you want to spread out your toes on the supporting foot, supporting leg. Make sure that foot is active. That's where your roots are coming from. So you need that solid connection or your tree will fall. Lengthen through the leg, which becomes, kind of the trunk of the tree. Ensure your hip is strong and solid. To do that, engage through your glutes. This leg should want to come out to the side a little ways. I mean, it would be easier to do this, but we are not flamingos. So out to the side. Shoulders back. And then your arms can be wherever they want. Maybe you're more of like, I don't know, a pine tree. I don't know if I look anything like a pine tree now. Or maybe you have wild branches all over the place. Or maybe you're hanging like a willow. Whatever it is, that's up to you. The real kind of work is through this area of the body. And you want to make sure that energy is flowing up through the crown. Let's bring the knee to center, release. We'll go to the other side. So again, put down your roots. Lift up that foot, find the perfect spot. Really, I can't say enough about keeping this hip strong through engaging the core, engaging the glutes, shoulders back, arms wherever the arms would like to be. And then releasing. When you are placing your foot against the leg, keep in mind there's good pressure coming there as energy is flowing up. If some of it gets sidetracked through the leg, coming around the knee, you want to make sure that connection is so tight so that the energy can flow back in. And if it's circling around before it releases up through the crown, that's okay. We're tying into the root chakra, your center for instinct. Coming up a little bit to the sacral chakra, your center of creative energy. Maybe up to the solar plexus, your center of strength, emotional and physical strength. So whatever you need, that's kind of the area that we're working on today. Okay, so with that in mind, let's start doing a little bit of work here to set our balance, and then we'll proceed with a little bit of flow. So nice and relaxed, lift up onto the toe base, knees are soft. Breathing a lot. Let your ankles wobble around. Quick reminder of all the things that help us balance, pressing your tongue into the back of your teeth, setting a sight and focusing on it with your eyes, maybe a mudra. And lots of breath. Let's get a little bit higher here. Soften down onto the heels. Now we're going to balance just on the heels. Lift up through the toe base and the balls of the feet. Lots of breath. Back to the toe base. I'm having more trouble in the toe base. Oh my goodness. Although my house does slope down in the direction I was facing. This is better. Sinking down back up to the heels. My house used to be incredibly angled, mostly through a complete lack of engineering, with the addition of thatch ants who had eaten some of the important supports of this place, which is why it got rebuilt a number of years ago. So we got better at evening out that massive slope, but it's still not completely level. Releasing down toe base. And you know what? Who wants a totally level world or a house or life? It would make balancing so much easier. And we're up for a challenge. Back down up to your heels once more. This time I'm sticking my butt way out. And releasing. Good. Roll your shoulders back, hands behind your back, lift up through your knee, extend your foot, flex, circles. And circles in the other direction. Releasing. Let's move to the other side. Lift up a foot, extend and flex. Circles. And circles in the other direction. Good. Roll your shoulders down. Lots of deep breaths in and out. Good. With the feet fairly close together, we're going to start by sweeping up. Bring your palms down as you bring a knee up, shoulders back. Move into second position of the tree, hold and breathe. And now reverse that, bring the knee to center, release. And bring the foot down, sweep up, other side, knee comes up. And bring the palms down. Breathe. Reversing. Drop the foot back to the first time, sweeping up, bring a knee up. Tree. Reversing. And down, other side. Tree. Releasing down. Inhale, sweeping up. Swan dive forward. Let the fingertips touch the ground. Drop the head and breathe. Rolling up. Roll the shoulders. Sweeping up again. Lift that leg. Hands come down. Holding here for a moment. Out to the side as far as you're comfortable with. Keep the chest lifted and then move to your tree pose. Lots of breath as we slowly lift. Center. Reverse. Down. Other side, big breath in. Out to the side. Tree pose. Lifting that leg up. Move to center. Reverse. And down. Let's go again. First side. Sweeping the arms, the leg comes up. Out to the side. Deep breath here as the muscles are getting tired. Moving to your tree pose. Use that connection to lift. Leg comes up. Back to center. Sweeping up, releasing the leg down. Last time on the other side. Sweeping it. Tall and strong, out to the side. Moving into your second position, tree. Lifting up, back to center, releasing down. Good, big, wide stance. Sweeping it. Swan dive forward. Find your fingertips a spot on the mat. And as the legs start to release and relax, you can soften through the elbows a little bit if that's comfortable. Tight through the core, rolling all the way up. Sweeping the arms up over top of the head and then bring the hands to the heart. Good. Let's sweep up again. Exhale, swan dive coming down. This time your hands are going to be beside each other on the mat. Thumbs are touching, not your tongues. Your thumbs are touching. Drop the head, keep the left hand on the floor, right arm reaches up to the sky. Nice side twist here. Let the arm come down. Other arm comes up. and slowly back down, sweeping up all the way. Bring the hands to the heart. Good. So from this nice wide stance, bring your feet a little bit closer together. And we're going to start to move through our next flow. We're going to take this slow, and it's pretty much like an 8 count. So we're starting here, and let's do this together really slowly. We're going to come down. So as you come in, this is like a second position. You're bending the knees are pushing out to the sides, shoulders are dropping, tail is dropping nicely down, and then we're pulling back up. Arms are up. We're going to lean to the side. I've got one toe on the floor here, and then we bring the arms over as the leg comes up. Foot comes down. Good. Then we step behind. Curtsy, and then we lift to a second position tree, and then our arms will come up for a 2 count. So when we put that together a little bit more rapidly, I'll show you what it looks like. So we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you can join me now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Last time. 1 and 2, 3, lift 4. Curtsy, tree, stretch, and release. Nice. A little shake. Let's do the other side. We'll start slowly once again to get the hang of it, and then we'll increase the pace. This is I mean, once you start doing it more rapidly. Now, if you don't like coming into the second position of the tree, you could just do a passe, so bringing a toe up, just a toe touch, no pressure. But I think the second position tree is quite nice. So let's do it slowly on this side. So we come down, and then we're going to be lifting up. We lean over, touching the toe, and then nice crunch through the core as we lift up, right? We come into our curtsy, and then the foot finds its way onto the leg, and we move our arms up as we lock this in place. So let's go at a faster pace. So we're going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm falling over too quickly here. Let's do a couple more. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Once more here, please. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Oh my word. 7 and 8. Just shake it out. My dogs are barking at me going like, what is happening? Oh my gosh. Very nice. We're going to do that through one more time on each side. But when we get to the tree at the end on the 7 and 8, we're going to continue to hold that for a little bit longer. And I want you to take some time to breathe as you calm the body, because we're going from something quite active. So I want you to deepen that breath. And I want you to play around with the arms and see where your arms want to be for comfort and for what you need. Think back to that snapshot we took earlier in the class. Feet are wider apart, toes are out. So let's come down. Lifting up. Leaning over. And lift. Curtsy here. Up to second position. Arms come up. Let's hold. And again, think about where your arms want to be. Maybe they want to be out at the side. And let's release. We're going to move to the other side. So we come down and up. Side and lift. Up. Curtsy. In second position. Arms extend wherever you would like. Maybe as you're holding, pay attention to where the tail is at. Mine was sticking way the heck out. So I'm tucking those hips under. Your arms can change position. And let's release, coming back to a nice wide stance, sweeping up, lengthen, and then ragdoll forward. So softly tumbling forward, let yourself hang, releasing whatever you need to release. And then we're going to roll all the way up, roll the shoulders, good, good, good. Okay. I just checked the time, I'm like, why does this happen? Time moves at a different pace during this practice. Although I apologize for the people this morning who are like, oh my God, this is dragging, it's so painful. I just feel like we started 2 minutes ago and that's not the case. So I want to bring you down into a little bit more work just to get into the hips. And then we're going to do a tiny bit of stretching. And then for our Shavasana, I want to show you a really nice restorative posture that is basically the tree pose, but on the ground. And this is where you're going to need a little bit of a support for the thigh. So before we get to that, we'll definitely need some form of comfort for your knees. We're going to come down like this. You know what? I'm actually going to face forward. Might be easier. Cool. Come into a 90-90. Be mindful of balance as we go. And let's take a moment here to kind of put down some roots even in this posture. So feel that front foot. My toes are spread. I'm really holding onto the floor. My leg that's on the floor, so my knee that's on the floor, I want to really be aware of that, and I want to lengthen up here. Same principle as the standing leg in the tree pose, really strong, engaging through the glutes. Okay. Hands are going to come to the heart. This is just some nice range of motion and opening that we're going to do. Extend your arms out. And then we're going to lean over in one direction. And then we're going to reverse and come across. Very mindful, great control. Switching sides again. So I'm reaching up as I'm crossing over the midline. Maybe the supporting hip stretches even more. Opening. And crossing over, watching balance, and then coming back up. Open up through the chest, lifting the heart. Shoulder blades move together. And then you're going to come forward, hugging your thigh. Bring yourself down here. Gaze is down, looking at your foot. Let's open up. Tall, leaning back, forward, hug the thigh. Opening up. Roll your shoulders down. Good. Let's switch to the other side. Starting with that 90-90. Arms reach out. Let's reach one side. As you kind of increase your range of motion, you could put a hand down, but let's not worry about that today. Let's open and shift to the other side, reaching up as you pull over. Opening and reaching. Opening and reaching. Open those arms, bring the palms back, opening through the chest, lifting up, and then hugging forward. Hug this thigh. Gaze is down. Opening, lifting, rising up here, chest is proud. Shoulder blades come together, and then we come forward, hug the thigh. Coming all the way up, shoulders roll. Once more on each side. Foot comes forward, extending out. As you're doing this, pull up and back through the chest, really engage. Good, sweeping up and over. Opening, other side. Opening. Over we go. Opening. Over we go. Opening, leaning back, lifting here. Press into your front foot and then hug down. Hug it in tight. Opening up, lifting through the chest. And then hugging it in tight. Opening up through the chest. Bring the arms down, hands to the heart, switch legs. Find your balance and find your flow. And other side. Breathing. And breathing. Opening up here, chest is proud. Feel those shoulder blades moving together and then hugging down. Lots of control. Maybe going deeper here. Drop the head perhaps. Opening up. And forward. Opening up. Hands to the heart. And then sinking down. Excellent work. Okay. So what I want to introduce you to now is a very restorative posture. And it's easier to kind of demonstrate this if we're all in a space together, not virtually, but I'm going to do my best. And I'll show you how to set up for this posture. We're going to hold it and then we're going to do a little bit of a stretch afterwards. We'll switch to the other side, do a stretch, and then pretty much we're going to be wrapped up at that point. So Shavasana is going to look a little bit different today. So what we want to do is come into a tree pose on the back. What we're going to use the towel for is to ensure that our hips are level. As I was indicating earlier, something in my house is not. So I'm just going to check this like this. And what I mean by level is when I'm down on the floor, I have a leg extended. Now your foot can be
by the knee. When you're in this posture, there's no potential for injury here. But if I were to do this, my leg is not comfortably coming to the floor. It's putting too much strain on my low back. So I'm going to tuck a support under. And what I want to do is tuck it far enough under so that my hip bones, my iliac crests are level. You might have to play around with this. You might have to wiggle a bit more. And then if possible, arms are going to come back into a cactus posture or a diamond, or if that's horrible, somewhere else that you decide might be more comforting for you. So come on into the posture and just breathe. To start to release this posture, bring your arms down, slide a hand under that supported leg, just move it to center. And then using the other hand, just guide that knee across the midline and enjoy that nice stretch through the hip, through the piriformis. Hold and breathe for a few moments. And then pull that knee all the way back into the tummy. Good. We're going to release the leg, and I want you to set up on the other side, doing the same thing. So coming into that tree position, modified on the floor, we have the support tucked under the leg or the hip. You're probably going to notice a big difference between left and right. So make any changes you need to. And then once you're set up effectively, ensuring that your hips are level, then come into a position that you're comfortable just sinking into, breathing deeply, and just letting everything go. Start to bring your arms down, slide a hand under that bent leg and move it up to center. We're going to guide that knee across the midline of the body. Again, enjoying a nice stretch here. And then bring that knee back to center, pull that leg in nice and tight. Let's bring the other knee up. Both knees are pulled into the tummy, maybe gently rocking from side to side. Let's bring the arms out, back into that cactus position, and slowly lowering the legs to one side. Head looks in the opposite direction. Come back to center. And moving to the other side. Let's come on back to center, pull both knees in to the tummy, extend your legs up into the air, flex your feet. Pull the knees in, rolling forward or pushing to your side and moving up. And moving into a seated posture. As you breathe here, I invite you now to kind of go through that process of taking a second snapshot and comparing how do things change during the practice? How did things shift? Have we created tension? Have we released tension? I know for myself, I'm now focused on the fact that I need probably another hour of this to start unpacking some of the last few days to get that deep tension, that state of kind of anxiety to just let go. If that's where you are too, take some more time. And if you feel wonderful, and if you feel that things have released and relaxed and that you have space and clarity, then that is fabulous. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart, acknowledging that we put down roots today, we balanced, we pushed our strength, we worked flexibility, we let the breath carry us, and we let our minds be focused. Allow gratitude to wash over you. Allow your heart to fill with a sense of gentleness and peace. And may your third eye be open to see the world in the best possible way. Thank you so much for doing the practice this morning. I hope people are feeling well and that you have an amazing day and a fabulous week ahead. Can't wait to see folks next Sunday. Send me requests. Namaste.